damage. Like, I think it's up to 1,000 now. Like when it's maxed, I think the range went from like the base damage of the ultimate went from like 200, two something to like 600, and then the long range is the 430 to like 1,000 damage on Tigreal's ult.
Oh yeah.
So like if you get caught by that implosion, and then you have all this, like even the last insanity and the feathered, you're dead.
Yeah. Okay, this is a classic Falcons. We've seen this yesterday. The no traditional marksman in the goal lane, a double fighter setup with a utility jungler. The way that you can visualize it is it's like a battering ram, right? Like there's no pointy ends for that battering ram, but they can actually win with that in the early stages. But eventually you will look for a way to end the team fights, because the only way for them to push turrets is if Coffin is still alive. And to be fair, the Kimi is not as fast anymore when it comes to taking turrets, unless left unattended. So RQ Hoshi, they still have the priority when it comes to the late game, I would say. Oof. We'll see how they will do. Look at how fast the dash is for the Tigreal now.
It's good. You know, I feel like he, in a way, he kind of needed that, because you know how many times would you go ahead and use the Tigreal, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this sacred hammer off, and then it's just sidestepped. You know, because it's like slow motion. So it's much better that they increase that speed for that.
Yeah. Looking good. You know, my only criticism about Team Falcon's composition, well, I have many criticisms. So
what's the main one? What's the main one?
The main one is usually you pick up the Kalea, you combo it with a burst hero. Of course, the Kimi can eventually take out whoever gets lifted and dragged by the Kalea, but the Kimi will not always be in there to output the damage. So you typically pick up somewhere along the lines of a Lancelot, or maybe even a carry, a Farsa. Kimi might not be enough here as a combo for the Kalea. That's why even with this first pick Kalea, it kind of feels like it's not as successful as Team Falcons would want it to be. To be fair, I really like the first 3 picks from Team Falcons. I just don't like their choice of Akai plus Alice. It's their last 2 picks. Akai is great, but the Alice might not give them what they need in this game.
Oof, look at that burst. Wow. First blood going in the hands of Team Falcons. Rins was the target even with the Purify, man. He was gone in an instant. So with that, they'll go ahead and start up this turtle. First one of the game. RQ Hoshi wants to go ahead and contest it and fight it through. Dyron jumping in on Cuffin. Swinging that sword. Cuffin can't get away. They do trade it out. Susujin falls, so this should be a turtle going in the hands of Team Falcon. Toy gets a kill on Sanji. RQ Hoshi, are they going to back off this? It's Boy and Troll. I don't think they're going to be able to get more, so they trade objective for kills.
Dyron's utilizing all of his combo for
they go for Rins.
That's a great option.
Big tsunami slam.
Again.
Wow, Rins, man. He's not having a good time here, Wolf.
Back-to-back deaths on that same spot for Rins. This time didn't have the Purify. Now Boyet, they're poised to take this purple buff, but this is 6 seconds before his Retribution is off cooldown. Sutsujin has the Retribution, so I don't know why they're making this play at all. Oh, what? Sutsujin did not know that he could have been there. But of course, he probably did not know, actually. Exactly, because he died during the turtle fight. He might have just assumed that the Akai did not retreat during the turtle.
That's insanity. No, won't be able to pick up Sano. Good attempt there from Toy, but a nice lockdown with the spin. Keeping him there. Boyet still healthy enough. Sano finally going down with a feathered airstrike right on target. Sutsujin 1 HP away. He'll be able to survive a tsunami slam. Irok sacrificing himself. And they do survive, keeping Sutsujin alive. But man, Team Falcons, though, they're willing to take these fights, and this is going to be a lot of extra gold now in the hands of them.
And Troll didn't have the best combos with him, but he's already 2-0-3. The first pick, Kalea, coming out from Team Falcons, didn't even waste a second picking it up. The moment that they saw that it was open, they picked it up for themselves. And Troll shows to us how it's done. 2-0-3 with this rogue Kalea.
Oof. Sanji trying to get away. Dyron, though, and Sutsujin should be able to pick up a kill. Stun with a Mountain Shocker. A good pickup there for RQ Hoshi. Turtles coming up here. Team Falcons getting in position, and this is, once again, Edok doesn't have a flicker available, but might still be able to utilize that implosion again. A lot faster here on the Tigreal now, especially with that Sacred Hammer, but they'll take this slowly. Susujin's still working on his orange buff. Boyet in position, and they'll just stall it out. They might even just give this up as he just goes for his purple instead. Looks like that's going to be the play here for Arkyhoshi.
Just going to give it up. Not going to waste. They are just going to farm on this Yeezen chain. I think this has got a lot of catching up to do. Rarely does Akai have the advantage over the Yeezen chain, but because of the turnout of the early game, Team Falcons have found their opening. 1-0 4 for Boyet. 100% kill participation. Him and Troll has been all around the map. And the usual suspect there is Rins. Picking up kill onto that Farsa allows them to still teamfight after an extended clash.
Yeah, good stun there, but it looks like they're going to reinitiate after Troll was able to escape. A last insanity going to be used. Sano will survive, but it looks like just a pure disengage on both sides after ultimates were thrown. But Arkyhoshi still holds on to the battle spells. Toy's going to try to get out of here. Little strike plus the slam coming down. Toy will go ahead and flicker, staying alive barely with some of the regen there with that Brave Smite emblem, but they aren't going to be able to get a turret. Tier 1 on the bottom side here for Team Falcons. Might be a push, trading up top unless Sanji can do something about it, but they will trade turrets. Tier 1 up top now for Arkyhoshi.
That's the fleeting time available for the Kalea. That's why they kept on just pounding Arkyhoshi with these initiations. We'll now find a kill on the Toy, but they did find a push up down the bottom lane. Unfortunately for them, Arkyhoshi have already pushed up top, so there's not a massive lead that Team Falcons have built when it comes to the gold. And we're yet to see this CC getting activated. Okay.
Little weird implosion there.
Okay.
I think it was the wall, or
it probably was.
Yeah, something that was odd. That's not the implosion I know.
Yeah, that's not an implosion I know as well.
Well, there's the Sacred Hammer that we're going to learn right there. It's quick, it's fast. Edok has to flicker out defensively. Dairon jumping out to help the fight. Sanji now also. They could get caught in a bad position. Dairon has the bravest fighter. He's going to be able to disengage now, but the fight for this turtle, all for Team Falcons to go ahead and secure. Arkyhoshi not able to contest this. So great team fighting that's on display from Team Falcons right now.
Yeah, Team Falcons have zoned out the members of Arkyhoshi, committing the ultimates. I think the way that they are utilizing their ultimates is just to make sure that Arkyhoshi will either use their own ultimate or use a battle spell. Now, Sutsujin getting caught by Sanji, but there's no follow-up. And Troll doesn't have the ultimate yet, so they will not continue with that fight. And even after that turtle fight, Team Falcons have only built 1,000, actually less than 1,000 gold. Maybe a little bit over 1,000 gold either. Yeah, 1.7k around that area, which is not that much right now. However, you still have to think about the First Lord fight, which Sutsujin needs a lot of catching up to do. So far, he has caught up with the same levels, but we'll see.
Tsunami Slam going to be used again. Edok's getting locked down with that heavy spin, but there's the response. Last Insanity thrown out. A good throw of Ruin coming out from Sanji, but they get stunned in that mid lane. Stopped in the tracks with the Mountain Shocker. There you go. Arkyhoshi will be able to disengage, only losing their roamer, Edok. But again, Team Falcons, they're taking the fights. They're lining things up here and playing around this composition they have. They're going to be in a good position to contest for this objective, that Lord, when it does come up, just like how they have for these turtles. And so we'll see. The adjustment that needs to be made is actually from Arkyhoshi here, Wolf. They've got to find that favored setup that this composition is supposed to give them. And unfortunately, they haven't just been able to find that right target, or it's been Team Falcons that has started that first and are actually really getting value out of this Akai pick even.
Yep. And the good thing about this is for Team Falcons that there's no one dying on their side whenever they go for the engage. Now, Arkyhoshi, it has been a long time since they have gotten a kill. They're stuck with 4 kills as of this moment. Team Falcons, between the Kalei as well as this Akai, with both having 2-0 and 4. Again, seeing how well coordinated they are. Now the Lord fight commences.
Commencing on through for this turtle. Oh, there's the implosion. There's the setup, bringing him back so quickly. Heavy spin going to be used as well, but Cuffin dealing with Dyron all over. He has no space to work with. Oh, he gets some airtime, and Dyron can actually capitalize on the kill. And now Arkuhoshi might decide to re-engage on Sanji here. He's still got the Gleam available. Troll jumps in to body block for him. And it's just a trade, the 2-for-1, as the Lord still stands as well. Arkuhoshi with a bit of a numbers advantage, but Team Falcons, they'll be back in fighting form to contest this Lord if they can get here in time.
Big recovery coming up from Arkuhoshi. This time the Edok Tigreal. Stuff of legends that we've seen before. Finally finding the good opening, and you can see how quick the dash is once again. Rins. And now supplementing the damage. And of course, Arkuhoshi is there to supplement this implosion. Still, Coffin was able to kill. I don't know how they managed to get a kill at the Setsujin, but it was actually Troll. I mean, still 3-0 and 4 as of this moment. And now the Lord fight. Round number 2 begins. All ultimates available for Team Falcons as well as Arkuhoshi.
Fighting for this Lord to break out. Cuffin in position. Susujin's going to make his way. Oh, Cuffin. Dyron already jumping forward. Landchecker going to be down 2. And it does go for a reset. Not a full one. Not sure if Boyet's still given the call to go ahead and continue this on.
Yeah, Coffin. Oh my goodness. How bold is this guy?
Oh, Tsunami Slam. Feather Dash Strike drop down 2. Nice throw and ruin towards the back end. The Sacred Hammer going to keep Sanji there, and they're just going to go ahead and just duke it out for this Lord fight. But Team Falcons forced off to the Tier 1 turret. Susujin picks up Sanji. A Landshaker going to fall down. Troll finally shut down. Arkuhoshi is winning the fight. They find 2 kills, and now they'll start up the Lord here to secure this. Not much Boyet can do here. He's quite low. He does still have the Retribution. Sano going to get stunned once again with a Landshaker, and they'll pick up another kill, given to the hands of Susujin, as Boyet is forced off of this, and that's a Lord that was hard fought for Arkuhoshi.
Unfortunately for Team Falcons, the fact that they didn't have a marksman at this moment, while they do have the damage from the CC as well as the Kimi, it was difficult for them to group up and form a box. It's mainly because of the presence of the X-Borg, the Farsa, all these explosions that can be supplemented with the implosion from the Tigreal. Even the threat of those kind of spells is already enough for Team Falcons to not have a good formation around the turtle, around the Lord, I mean. And that being said, they were picked apart by Arkuhoshi, falling one after the other. Eventually, Coffin being zoned out meant the Team Falcons didn't have any retaliation. And even this Akai, with just the Brute Force Breastplate as well as the Athena Shield, did not have enough tankability against Arkuhoshi. And the result was Arkuhoshi just collects the Lord, gets 2 kills to go with that, and now they are sieging against Team Falcons.
Arku still has to be careful on how they approach this Edok. Popping the Conceal, Feather Dash Strike to follow through too, up in this top base turret. Edok doesn't have a flicker, so it's not like he can force this interaction here. Just kind of being a threat up on that front side. Lord finally going down. So Arkuhoshi might just be able to get this tier 2 for now, but that flickers up for Edok. If they decide to give it a go, they can force a fight. Immortality picked up for Toy too. You can see they might decide to go ahead and make this play utilizing this setup between the Tigreal. But Arkuhoshi, that's all they get. They get the tier 2s cleared. Base turrets still up for Team Falcons.
Gonna be a tricky situation now for Team Falcons because we are at 13 minutes and they should be winning at this point. Just like in the first time we saw this utility jungler plus double fighter setup where they kind of just run out of steam come the late game. It's the same situation here. Now Arkuhoshi, they have the Yisenshi, they have the Export, they have the Farsa, they have so much damage going in for them the longer the game goes.
Yep.
So this is a difficult scenario to be in if you're Team Falcons. They have risked this kind of composition with the Alice last pick. The Akai made a lot of sense. I think it was a good pick, but that Alice now, Sanji has not proven yet to us how good that pick was. We'll see if in the late game they can find a miracle set to counteract what Arkuhoshi is doing. But right now you can say that RQ Hoshi has the much better lineup, and now this is their power spike for sure. 14 minutes in, you have 4 items on the Eason Shin. You have Export with the Immortality and the Brute Force Breastplate. You have Farsa with 3 big items, even with the Lantern that is very effective against the beefy lineup of Team Falcons. They have all the tools that they need now. RQ Hoshi, all they need to do now is to team fight properly.
That's what it comes down to a lot of the times at this point in the game here. Wolf is that team fight around these lords. Now, it isn't an evolved lord just yet. Those seem to be more the obviously the crucial ones, but a lot of the cases, again, average game time is, you know, around this point. Even a lot of games ending off that first lord sometimes. So RQ Hoshi getting in position. Edok the one to keep an eye on, deciding if he's going to go ahead and start the fight up with the implosion, or how they decide to set this up. The heavy spin alone from Boyet actually is causing some havoc in terms of setting things up. And like you mentioned, I think this is the time for Sanji to make this work. A lot of times he's thrown out the Gleam and then showed up towards that back line and thrown a Ruins, but he does have the Winter Crown now too, so might give him a better option to get that favorable positioning against RQ Hoshi if they can make it.
Set up now for RQ Hoshi is that they're waiting for the commitment from Team Falcons, because they know that they will have a much better spot if they counter engage with the tools that they have. This is the Tigreal. We know for sure that if they start the fights, then Akai can just disengage with the ultimate, and it might not be the best scenario for them. They're not on the rush. They don't have to make the first move this time. Just have to wait for Sutsujin popping the ultimate and counter initiate with this Tigreal. So they're definitely not in a hurry. In fact, the Farsa is low pushing the bottom lane, interestingly. They will have to call on Rins now.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, this has been a pretty extended dancing away here for this one, you know, almost 2 minutes now, just trying to find that right opportunity. Some immortalities and other defensive items are being picked up. Troll not able to get that setup when that Tsunami Slam. So there's the implosion from Edok coming on through. Trolls are going to be the one to first go down. Boyet barely escaping, but there's the last insanity from Toy. The flicker forward, it's a double. And now a Landshaker finds Cuffin, and Cuffin will be able to get away. So Toy's immortality will be popped. Taking a couple of turret shots here, but it's only Cuffin versus the full force of RRQ. And that's all they need for now. The waves aren't pushing it just yet in their favor. They got that one minion to work with. Can Cuffin delay this? He's going to be pushed off forward. Mount Chakra to stun him. A great stun, a great play, and a great team fight for a great series. RQ Hoshi will take game 3.
A decisive victory in the end. All they needed to do was to find that opening, to find a team fight where they can regain the momentum back in their favor. It looked